Hi there, my name is Dr. Todd Austin from Austin Family Chiropractic in Verdon, Illinois, and I'm coming to you from my Tampa Bay Buccaneers room in the clinic, my office room, and I'm going to do a series of videos on concussions because I think with football season starting, high school ball just started last weekend, a few college teams started playing last weekend, college really begins this weekend for almost everyone. And then here, a week from this weekend will be the beginning of the NFL season. So I feel it's important to get some information out there about concussions. So in this first video, I'm just going to talk about, I guess, what makes me qualified to speak on concussions, because I would assume that I would get that question, well, what makes you qualified to speak on concussions, Dr. Todd? Well, I was a chiropractor, official team chiropractor for a semi-pro football team for 5 seasons, 2011 through 2015. In 2011 and 2012, I was pretty much in charge of diagnosing and treating concussions myself for those 2 seasons. Then in 2013 and 2014, I also had a gentleman, a Dr. Wendell Beckton, who actually is a concussion expert. He's a medical doctor, and he won a World Series championship with my St. Louis Cardinals in Major League Baseball. He authored the concussion guidelines that the Cardinals used at that time when they won the 2011 World Series. So he was a wealth of knowledge, taught me a lot about concussions, definitely co-managed those cases with me in 2013 and 2014. And I also worked with another terrific doctor, an orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Sadiq El-Amin, and he has since moved on and is now actually in charge of a concussion group in Gwinnett, Georgia. And he has a wonderful practice down there. He mainly works on knees and shoulders, but also does a lot with concussions. Works with a lot of retired and current pro football, NBA basketball, and Major League Baseball athletes. He puts a lot of that stuff on Instagram if any of you want to follow him. But for 3 seasons I worked with him and got to co-manage concussions with him as well. Also, I have not attended any of Dr. Omalu's courses. He's the one that's featured in the movie Concussion with Will Smith. I've not attended any of his lectures, but I have attended lectures by Dr. Robert C. Cantu. And Dr. Cantu is a very knowledgeable guy, does a lot of work along the same lines that Dr. Omalu is doing with CTE and looking at the Dow protein depositions in people's brains once they've died and they've done the autopsy on their brain. So it's some very interesting work. So Dr. Robert C. Cantu has taught me a lot as well. I've also seen concussions here in the practice. So I've been practicing for 20.5 years. Other than the 5 years that I spent on the sidelines with a football team, I've seen a lot of athletes in the clinic and even a lot of non-athletes in the clinic that get concussions. Some of them happen in the workplace. People that work in a place and something large gets dropped on their head, or they worked in a mine, a rock got dropped on their head. So we see these people coming in with concussions. We see a lot of football players, of course, with concussions. I've also seen basketball players. I've seen people that are in the shooting sport. They go out and shoot the clay pigeons, and I've seen people where their gun kicks back and they've actually got concussions out of that. Basketball players, soccer players, so the list goes on and on. We know a lot about concussions. A lot of what we know about concussions we really knew in the 1920s. It's just that before the internet and before bringing it to light with movies like the concussion movie, and it getting really talked about, and lawsuits against the NFL. I mean, it never really came to the forefront where everyday people were discussing it. And that only happened here, I would say, in the last probably 12 years. But before that, it was something that most people really didn't know much about. But as far as the body of medical research we have, a lot of what we know now, other than the CTE part of it, really goes back to the 1920s. That's going to be my introductory video on this, and then I'm going to do a series of other videos on concussions. I'm going to talk about, in my opinion, the appropriate age for someone to start playing football. I'm going to talk about things that parents and football players, we're talking kids, high school kids, junior high school kids, grade school kids, can be on the lookout for. We're going to just talk about a different series of things like that, and also talk about CTE and second impact syndrome and what all those things entail. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to helping to give you a little more information about concussions and how we can more properly diagnose and manage those. So thank you for watching. Have a great day, and enjoy the 2017 football season. And another thing I almost forgot to mention is that for 5 seasons, or for 5 years, from 2011 through 2015, I was an associate member of the Professional Football Chiropractic Society. That's an awesome organization. All 32 NFL teams, I don't know if you know this or not, but all 32 NFL teams have at least one doctor of chiropractic officially. A handful of those teams actually have 2 chiropractors, and so a lot of these chiropractors I got to meet and talk to, learn from their experiences, get my questions answered by them. They meet once a year in Indianapolis during the NFL Combine, and it's an awesome group to be a part of. It taught me a lot about working with concussions, definitely. And so for any other chiropractors, young or old out there, that are looking to get involved with sports teams, whether it's at the semi-pro level like I did, or the high school level, college level, even like the junior football level, junior high level, whatever level, I would highly recommend that you check out the Pro Football Chiropractic Society. ProFootballChiros.com is their website, and they'd be happy to help you out too.